Welcome to the Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Anderson's Bar and Grill and the Blind Tiger Bar.
Okay, it's working this time, Raymond.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, so what happened was last week we obviously shit the bed in terms of videoing ourselves for people on Patreon, patreon.com/the Kendy Raybo podcast. Before we get any further, actually, is it called Patreon because they're called patrons?
It's what do you call it?
Patreon. It's probably called Patreon, I bet you. We've been sounding like... No wonder no one signed up to it, man. We've been saying it wrong.
I don't think it's... I think it's whatever you... It's Patreon or Patreon.
I'm going to try Patreon this week, okay, and see do we get more listeners when I say it.
Right.
Okay, so it's patreon.com/the Kendy Raybo podcast, and you will get the video version of the Kendy Raybo podcast.
With extra bits we didn't bother to cut out.
Yeah, because it makes the editing game way harder, so we're not cutting out the extra bits on the Patreon, so you will get to hear some of that. The reason we are doing this, you can't see him, and we're also pretending he's not here. Brendan Tierney said he would stand in, and he will do the switching that Ray couldn't do last week.
Yeah.
But we are still... Brendan said to us at the start, I can't be doing this every week. I am a big dick driving instructor, lovey. Yeah. So we are still looking for a gentleman out there.
Or a lady.
Probably a lady as well, maybe. Yeah.
We have to be equal opportunity as employer.
Okay, be you a lady, a fella, a non-binary, as long as you can push 3 buttons, you can apply to try and video the 2 boys.
Yeah. Now, before we go any further...
No money.
Not the people that are listening on the podcast.
Yeah.
This is not for you now. We're now going to turn around to the camera and we're going to wave to the people who are paying for it.
Oh, how are you keeping?
How are you doing?
How are things, lovely?
Jez, it's much easier to do this without me having to switch the cameras.
Now, the other thing is, lads, once again, the big old sellout heads on Kendy and Raybo, we are drinking some woohoos straight from the cocktail club at the Blind Tigers.
Marvellous alcoholic fruit beverages. Drinks.
It's the Blind Tiger here in town. We are drinking woohoos, Ray, and
woohoos.
Let's get involved in this motherfucker and see what's happening.
We only ordered these earlier, as in we had 15 minutes to spare before we started recording the podcast. And are you enjoying that, Kendy?
It's unreal. I know we're supposed to say it's unreal, Ray, because of big sellout heads on us. But it's unreal. I'm so annoyed that for 2 years... You made me drink IPA after IPA after IPA.
And look at you now.
I know,
the
I know.
size of you.
And now this is a healthy... If you drink Blind Tiger's marvellous fruit drinks, you lose weight.
So there's cranberry juice in that, and that's good for combating kidney infections.
And also, no more than prune juice, it's good for, letting a bit of stuff out of you. You can pass whatever you want when you drink the Blind Tiger's drinks.
We've a big show ahead of us today now that we're all sellout heads, and I believe it's episode 116.
116, Raymond. Yes. Imagine, huh?
On today's show, it is, guys. Gotten very professional now.
I love the way you're talking though, because you know the cameras are there, so you think you're Dahi O'Shea. And on today's show, ladies and gentlemen, now let me tell you, just a natural, Ray. Just be natural.
It's just I can't look anywhere but the camera.
Don't look straight down the lens of a camera, Ray. Oh my, he's after losing it. Jesus Christ of Almighty. We have to get on to you horse riding as well. Speaking about losing it.
We're getting there.
We'll come up to that later on now, because I'm galloping towards it.
On today's show, we have a fabulous interview.
Yes, we do. Because when you're famous, you get to interview famous people. So we had Fred Cooke on the podcast, and you're going to hear that interview a little bit later on in the show. Yeah. What a wonderful gentleman, Raymond.
Very nice man.
Yeah, and a tremendous comedian, and he's done plenty in the comedy world, you know.
And very good to us to actually come on our little show.
Do you think we can call him a colleague now, or is that just ignorant as shite?
No, we can't call him a colleague.
But we've done a comedy gig.
We have done one.
Yeah, we headlined a comedy gig.
It was our own. We had no support.
We just did it ourselves.
We did it ourselves, and a few very kind friends and family came to visit.
There was about 100 of the bastards,
Yeah,
right?
very kind friends and family.
What kind of family do you have, man?
Well, sure, look, if you get married, you're going to have that, you know?
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
There's more people at a normal wedding than there was at one of our gigs.
Exactly.
I hate that now. Yeah. I hate that we've realised that.
Yeah.
That's driving me up the wall. Anyway, we have a few things to get on to. So Fred Cooke's coming up later on, so stick around. We'll probably stop talking and then we go, here's Fred Cooke, and then we come back and we finish off.
Yeah, what happens with us normally is we have a great first few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We've been finding that lately. About a good half hour we have in on
We
us.
run out of steam. Yeah. I usually know we've ran out of steam, Ray, whenever you start looking at your phone and you're like... I must have wrote something else down here that's interesting. I'm like, okay, well, let's just stop recording here now, because Ray's sifting.
Yeah, I'm sifting.
Go on, sorry, you were going to say.
No, I'm not going to say anything now. You've kind of insulted me now, so I'm going to be quiet for a minute.
We need to get on. We have to get on to the weekly comings, Raymond.
The what?
Okay, you put up on the Instagram that you were off riding horses. Listen, I've said this before, and I don't want to be insulting anyone when I say this, okay? And I hope I say this right because I say a lot of shit wrong. Okay. There's only one thing that'll make you go horse riding of a Tuesday.
What's that?
A fine Bure.
You have, yeah. That's it. That's the only reason.
That is it, like.
Yeah.
What were you doing above in the stallion?
Fine Bure.
Explain to me so.
Well, now in fairness, Laura says herself and her friends were going horse riding.
Okay.
And she said, I'd really like you to come with me because if you don't come, I'm going to be the comic relief, she said.
And you were like, well, I'd really like you to stay with me, so I'm going to do whatever you say.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened.
So I said, yes, I will juggle many, many meetings from the Department of Government and put them all on other days. So if anyone from Westmeath County Council are listening today, when I said I wasn't available Tuesday morning due to a clash on my diary, the truth was I was horse riding.
Oh my God. Isn't it mad though? Because the first thing I thought when I saw you horse riding was, why is that fella not getting housing for this country?
I took the morning off.
You took the morning off the housing for the country.
To go horse riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was marvellous.
Did it cut the bag yet?
Oh.
Tell me the truth. Did it cut the bag yet?
Let's just say I can't engage in any hip thrusting activities for the next few days.
You've got a wide stance going here, like you can't close your legs.
There'd be no disco dancing or none of that sort of stuff in the next few days.
Did it? How long were you above and top of it for?
Oh, I was a solid hour up on gypsum.
Oh,
gypsum.
Gypsum was the horse's name.
Gypsum was the horse. I didn't think of that.
No.
Oh, God.
But the horse's name was Gypsum, though. Okay. Yeah, no. I just wanted to make sure. That's what it was, Gypsum. And did he?
There was a couple of frightening moments.
Okay.
There was the getting up on the horse.
Oh, yeah.
That was hard. Although there were the lovely people out in Island View Stables abroad in Grange.
Lovely.
They provide a little staircase.
Okay.
For men of my stature.
No way you got up on top of a horse of the back of his stairs.
There's no way I wouldn't have the acuity of body and sense and mind to be able to put my foot in a stirrup that high.
Did it have a banister? Did the staircase have a banister?
No, there was a young Austrian lady that assisted me in getting on the horse.
Did she give you a little help in the hand?
She had to, yeah. She was very good in fairness to her. She she just guided me through the process.
And what colour was your horse?
My horse was brown.
Oh, okay, you got a standard brown one.
A standard brown, but it was the tallest horse out of the whole group.
Oh, no wonder you're up in the staircase getting up on top of it.
Of course, yeah.
There was probably a landing on that staircase,
but
I'd say.
The problem is, you see, when you fill out the little form, right? You fill out a little form online before you go. This is for anyone considering going riding up in the island.
Horseback riding.
Horseback riding in the Island View, which is beautiful, by the way. I'll tell you more about it in a second.
Lovely.
But when you fill out the COVID form, it does ask you what your height and your weight is.
On the COVID form?
Yeah, they call it a COVID form, as in you have to basically say I don't have the COVID before you go there.
Okay.
You know, because the last thing they want is the horses getting the COVID. But
no, the last thing they want is a fat bastard up on top of it, man. That's right.
That's what it is.
This is a COVID form, so just put your weight on it.
What weight are you? Yeah. And it also says if you're over 100 kgs, you can't ride the horse.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised, man.
I'm 91 at the minute.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so close.
I know.
You would have broke back mountain job, man. Actually, now that I think about it, we talk about cowboys.
So I was nervous getting up on it.
Right.
Yeah, but Gypsum now took it, so he did. He was like a little champ. Do you know?
And you're above on top of that horse's back for an hour, and all 91 kg, yeah?
Yeah.
Did it gallop or trot?
Well, we did no galloping.
No.
We did some cantering.
What's that mean?
Is it cantering or trotting? Trotting, sorry. Cantering is the slightly fast running.
Okay, tipping along.
Trotting is the just, tipping along.
Yeah.
And then there was the walking.
Okay, and where were the slow motion cameras?
What was slow motion cameras?
If you're on a horse on the beach, man, and there ain't no slow motion cameras, I don't want to fucking hear about it.
No, we didn't have the Brian McDermott video suite down there with us. But it was marvellous. There was one moment where a squeaky bum time, there was a tractor out doing a bit of topping.
Right.
And the tractor turned on the topper, right? And the horse got a shock.
Oh, Drew.
And he literally the head went up and he took a bit of a jolt.
Right.
And I thought, I'm done. I am done, and I'm going to be 3 miles away, slinging down the ball bag of a horse.
Yeah, I know, because I've seen those videos too. I laugh at them. Quite a lot now. I've seen those videos where boys get dragged in behind by a horse, like. And mostly just go, he's probably all right. Like, it's probably okay to laugh at. It's like.
No, it was good crack. I enjoyed it.
Would you do it again? That's always the big question to ask when someone does an activity like that.
Not straight away.
So it was a good crack then?
No, it was. It
Not
was good.
straight away.
No, not straight away, only because I haven't recovered.
Okay, so you've still got the cauliflower beanbag.
Yeah, no, I'd leave it a little while.
Yeah, because you can't be laughing at that, man. That's real out there. For any women who want to know, like, what we go through. Cauliflower beanbag is real, man. That shit is sensitive down there.
It's
like.
a sensitive spot now.
Jesus
and if
Christ.
if you know the way when the horse is trotting and you're bouncing.
Oh, yeah.
If you bounce the wrong way, and you trap something between you and the horse's saddle.
If that horse and I was on it and I got jolted this way over to the right, pinch, explosion, I mean, it would go like, and I ball burst, literally ball burst, game over.
Look, it's the risk you take. Do you know?
It's a big risk, but a big outcome for you though is to keep Laura at your side. I suppose,
in fairness, she had a very good time.
Yeah, it's funny the way our lives have kind of changed now, because all I do now is work, but you're off gallivanting.
Literally.
I'm
gallivanting.
Yeah, gallivanting.
I will say something on you raised the lovely subject there of your bag.
Yes.
A fact.
Go on.
In the process of the horse riding, there was some conversation in the horses, you know?
Okay, so they were really just trotting along. You could have a little chat.
Chipping away, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that taking baths, I know you're a fan of the bath.
Man, I spent my whole summer last year taking baths, man.
Do you know it can reduce your fertility?
Yeah, if you burn the bag of yourself.
No, but apparently if you're in warm water like that, it can reduce your facility.
Yeah, you know.
Facility?
Yeah, but
your facility to be fertile.
That's a risk I'm willing to take, Ray. I mean, like, there's a way you get into a bath. Also, by the way, that it alleviates that risk of infertility. You gotta tuck your bag up to your belly. When you get it, your bag, right, should be the last thing that goes into the water if you're getting into a bath.
I don't know how you're going to do that then, so.
No, it should be, because your body has to test the temperature for the joules.
Are you being lowered in Mission Impossible style? Have you got a HSE provided hoist in the bathroom?
Nicola has nothing to do with my bath time, except for the fact that she stands outside and she goes bow, 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 bow. I put me 2 legs up on either side of the bath, right? And I'll dip one in. If it gets too hot, you can't go in bag first. If it gets too hot, my cheeks will know before my bag will know.
Okay.
Yeah, the cheeks will take to the bag. Whoa, don't not come in here. It's too warm.
But baths are gone out now. Everybody's having showers.
I know, but what happened to us? That's so European, man. What happened to your old one giving you a bath until you were 22? No, until, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe pouring a wee jug over your head to wash your hair.
I love
and
it.
you did it once a week on a Saturday, and you ate ice cream afterwards and watched Gladiators. I mean, what happened to those days, Ray?
Those days are gone.
They're long, long, long gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to get into some of your little bits, or do you want to go to the Fred Cooke interview and come out with a little bit of bits?
Jesus, what way do you think we should run it?
Do you want to run a bit of Fred Cooke into it now for the crack?
We do a bit of Fred Cooke.
Do you know what, lads? Here's a little bit of a Fred Cooke interview.
For a break from us.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But we're in the interview as well, though. It's not a break from us.
Right.
Listen to it anyway, guys. You'll enjoy yourselves. Stop laughing, man. I'm trying to get a fucking natural cut.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
And I know my mother said to stop laughing.
Your mother told you stop laughing on the podcast?
Yeah. The parents. Fred, you might be. Fred, by the way, welcome to the podcast, Fred.
Cheers, guys.
You caught us mid-conversation there, is all.
Oh, Fred, you're there. Oh, fair play to you.
Ray, before we go to Fred, tell us what your mother said. Sorry.
No, just the two. Both my parents say I laugh too much in this thing.
But you're supposed to be laughing. It's a comedy podcast.
Well, I don't think they think it's funny.
Well, you're going to laugh about 20 times more, Ray, because we have on the line Fred Cooke. Fred, thank you very much for joining the Kendy Raybo podcast.
Oh, lad, thank you for having me over. Let me stay the night. So,
he's broadcasted from another room just across the house there is all, yeah.
It's much more interesting.
In the garden.
Fred actually said to us there before we started, did everyone in Sligo live in the same house? And we said, yeah, they do, because this is where we all quarantine together. Yeah. And that's why there's no COVID cases here. So look at that 31 counties, or 25, whatever way you look at the country.
26. It's 31 local authorities you must be mixing it up with. Oh, 32 count, sorry. Anyway, Fred, you're down in Kerry.
It's like, you got Roscommon on one side and Donegal on the other side, so I don't know how you haven't got COVID now, to tell you the truth.
I know, that it's actually such a good point, Fred, because nothing against Donegal people, but the county is riddled in COVID.
Yeah.
And we're about a half an hour away, and we're like, we haven't seen COVID since it started, nearly.
What do you think Donegal did so wrong?
Not watch the 6-1 news over a period of a year. I don't know.
Highland Radio up in Donegal. We don't cover that COVID stuff. It doesn't go down well with the listeners.
Here's some Brendan Shine instead. Here we go. All right, so Fred, speaking of COVID, I mean, has you in the comedy game, has it been a weird year and a half not doing the gigging? Or
Oh, yeah, it has. And you see, I spent so many years doing stand-up that it's all I can really do. Do you know what I mean? Like, so when I can't really do anything else. So, so it's not that I can't do anything else, but I've just I've put most of my work and years into that, which I love. So I guess, but you know what? I won't complain. I won't say, oh, I lost my reason to survive or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got through it, so. you know, and it was fine, you know, like so.
Yeah, you said
there so much going on this year anyway. Like I became a dad anyway, so it didn't matter what.
Oh well, congratulations! What had you?
As Joe Rooney says, he's 8 months old now. We haven't looked yet, so we don't know.
Right. And you're
take a look.
You're letting them decide, is it?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
They're good and ready.
And we have a boy. Do
you know what? It's probably the best time to have a baby, I'd say, during all this COVID crack, because you're not on the road, and your lovely missus isn't on the road either, because she's a comedian as well, isn't that right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think Ted's looking at us like we're kind of like. For a while, it was just the two of us in the house. We were like the cast of Friends in his eyes, Dad. We're like, do these lads go anywhere else? They're just always in the house, and like they don't even work. They just look at each other and walk from one side of the room.
But drinking orange juice. Do you know that's the freaky thing about the kids though, is that kids that were born during all this, they won't know what is going on if anything goes back to any kind of normal. Like
they'd be like, "Who's the lad with the weirdo with no mask on him?"
But equally, having to get the use of the whole creche thing and going in and being minded by someone else, they'll miss you. Like the kid will miss you fierce. Like
we find that hard to. We were only saying that today. Like Julie was saying, I think it'd be hard to just that moment if Ted's in a creche and there's no one looking after him and he's neglected for even for a minute. I find that hard to take. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, like, absolutely.
What's going on? Like, he wouldn't give a shit. He just loves the colours and the crack. You know, he wouldn't give a shit if he is neglected. Like so.
Would you bring Ted on tour?
I might have no choice. If that answers your question.
Because obviously
he's good at lights.
You'd be obviously doing your set and Julie be off stage minding Ted.
That's
and
it.
Then
We've
switch around. Yeah.
I have a tour coming up. And then after that, maybe like next summer, Julie and I are going to do a tour called Getting Out for the Night. And it celebrates as it is in the title, so we probably will have Ted. But, he'll be one in a bit then. So maybe if I give him a good certificate course in sound engineering or something like that.
Yeah, you could certainly put him to work or something like that.
That's not saying much for sound engineers now, is it?
No, well, actually, yeah. Ray here is a sound engineer, Fred, and you just told him that a 1-year-old can do his job.
Well, stop. I've a sound engineer's diploma myself.
Have you?
I'm in the same boat, Ray. I do, yeah.
Oh, we're
City and Guilds.
Yeah, we're like-minded individuals.
Oh, Jesus, fair play. Yeah. Maybe you should do a podcast together then. So, yeah. Jeez, exactly. Like no need for me to be here at all. No, I'm only messing. So, come here. When did you get into the comedy game, Fred? Like, how did it start?
Well, I've always loved making people laugh, and since a child, and I think how I got into it is I guess through college. I went to UCD and I guess I joined the Comedy Society and I seen all these comedians and they were having a laugh. And I remember they were getting paid after the gig. And I'm going, this is win-win. You know what I mean? I've always associated work with effort and answering to people. And then when you're tired at the end of the day, come a Thursday evening, Friday, you got your wages and you're happy, but you always had to work. And I realized that this is the middle point comedy between doing exactly what you want and making money out of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the middle ground. Do you know what I mean? That it was just, I don't have to work too much. As long as I worked very hard so I could do nothing.
Yeah. That's, I get that completely.
I work for freedom.
Yeah.
That's why I worked so I could, now I've lost it all in the last 8 months. But it was but I definitely, I couldn't get over the amount of attention comedians got. Prior to that, I would have went to a few plays or concerts and all that. But the idea of one person making like 300 people laugh, the intensity of it, I said, my God, like, to surf that energy, if you're any good at it, be like, I don't know, it would be such an amazing feeling. So I guess I was kind of addicted to the idea of it.
Yeah, and maybe the idea of even not making people laugh and the tension that builds up, like that's probably where the release comes from. When you come off stage and 300 people have laughed, you must feel some buzz because it could go either way,
Oh, who you telling?
Do you enjoy those moments? I suppose the awkward moments where it's just not. Would you be conscious enough to kind of go, geez, this is good crack as well? That it's gotten very awkward.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I've done, I used to do tours. My first tour, and I'm not saying I'm that well known now, but my first tour, maybe my second tour as well, no one knew me. So I was gigging to no one, and I didn't mind. And I even had jokes that I got so good at gigging to so many few people that I got really comfortable at it. You know, I had jokes to fit the room, to make the room feel okay. Like I used to walk out and go, "Oh God, this room are a bit like my hair. They're kind of spread out evenly to give an illusion of volume," and stuff like that. You know, and if you can do well in front of a small audience, you can really, you know, it really sets it up for when you do hopefully start getting audiences and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's a good way to go through it. It's kind of like a small audience. It's a bit like playing chess against a genius. You know what I mean? And then it is like that. And then like a big audience on a Friday night is like playing drafts against an absolute idiot. You know what I mean? Like, but you don't appreciate playing drafts against the idiot unless you've played chess.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you don't appreciate it. So it's good. You know, I just love being on the road. I love setting up going in, plugging in my guitar, the PA system, setting it up, and playing my guitar beforehand. I love sitting in the green room before a gig on my own, just drinking coffee. Do you know, I love it. And then going over my jokes, and I've been gigging now maybe 15 years. So in the last 5 years, I've started. It's almost 5 years this week. I started driving, and so now I kind of love to drive home.
Yeah,
I love the radio at nighttime after the gig. I love late date and RTE or, you know, podcasts or stuff like that. Now I've had many nights. I remember one night I was gigging in one of my first paid open spot was in Sligo, and was it the Moat? Just this venue was the kind of this theatre. It's closed now.
The Model.
It was Model. That's it. The Model.
Yeah, it's closed now because of COVID.
But it is still kicking.
It's still kicking.
Yeah,
it's still kicking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did that, and a lovely lady, Fiona, booked it. I didn't know I was getting paid, but she paid for my transport and accommodation, and I booked myself into a hostel, and I was like, you know, I was walking around Sligo going, "I'm a dangerous money with some man in my pocket. Keep up." Couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just always so happy to be out and involved and gigging and.
The Republic of Telly thing, that was a massive part. I don't want to say my childhood, like I'm fucking, you know, mad young or anything, but I grew up watching the Republic of Telly, man, and you were in nearly every skit along the way, like, you know.
Oh, it was class. It was just it was a lovely time, and everything that I recognized from the Republic of Telly, I actually did very little, you know, in the creative process of it. You know what I mean? I kind of got more credit than it's due for Republic of Telly stuff, like one of them, I remember we did it with Norkstra, and we were with Norkstra behind me. We were jumping around and following people. It was kind of a hidden camera thing, and it went viral and all this. And people were going, "Oh, it's brilliant, Fred! It's brilliant." But to be honest with you, I'll only own up to it now. All I did was turn up and put a suit on me and jump around with a conducting stick in my hand, like, you know.
Well, it's funny, but sometimes that's all it takes to kick or go viral, man. It's so weird. You can try your damnedest, and the weirdest shit goes viral. Speaking of the hidden camera thing, because you did the Fear as well, didn't you, for a while?
Yeah, I did the Fear. I was never that good at that. I should have spent more time doing characters, learning characters, like you know, like Ross. I couldn't, and I hate annoying people. I just hate annoying people.
Well, I was going to say that the Fear is the perfect name for us, because I'd nearly get the fear watching it from just the tension that builds up in those hidden camera shows and someone about to blow a head gasket.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you could stand in front of someone and play that role of, I'm going to antagonize you so much for the telly. It pretty much, you know.
Well, to be honest with you, I couldn't really do it. I did a few sketches, and some of them, like, but realistically, that's why I did all the music on the Fear. I did songs, and I went up singing to people with a choir behind me and stuff. Because at least the music filled in the silence, you know. Like, and not only that, it kind of it punched any tension with happy songs, dancing to someone, and like more clownery than awkward. Socially awkward situations. It's kind of like when someone seen me coming up and singing with a choir, and the cameras are already out. Everyone was in on the joke. Like, there was nothing to hide. Yeah, you know what I mean. I was just no good at keeping the secret and keeping the character up. So I said, "Look, I'm all out with a song at the start."
And also, I said this to I can't remember who it was. It's terrible. Someone who was on Naked Camera, is that eventually the game is up and people know you too well in the country, and they'll go, "Oh, that's Fred Cooke there. Like, he's obviously going to do a skit on me." Like,
I was kind of well known anyway. I'd gigged a lot, and I'd done a lot of TV work, Republic of Telly, and the Spar ads as well. So it was hard for me, you know what I mean? I'd put on glasses, and I grew a beard and a silly face, but
just
couldn't.
You grew a silly face. Jesus Christ! You let me know how you do that.
Exactly.
Can I ask you there, Fred? Now, just on the whole idea of going on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked this. I want to know about Dancing with the Stars. Something fierce.
My question is, and it's probably from a personal perspective, is what came over you?
What you mean?
That would frighten the shite out of me now, because I don't know how to dance, and I suppose I think me and you are kind of kindred spirits in that regard. But I'm wondering what clicked in your head that you said, you know something, I am going to do it.
I wanted to do it. It wasn't like. I think I'm the only person in Dancing with the Stars who
to be there.
Who wasn't, but who wasn't asked to do it. Who actually went to them and says, "Can I be in this?" And I did it the first year, and I got nothing back. So they put me on a waiting list. And then the second year, I got an interview, and but I didn't get it. And then the third year, I got it. So
sounds like a job in the civil service.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Exactly. Yeah. Or repeating the leaving cert. That's what I call it. Third time lucky.
What made you want to do it?
Well, in my head, I thought I was an amazing dancer. I really thought I've got this amazing rhythm, and I was full of the passion, but I've no technique. And so it says, this is the perfect show to raise my profile in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Fred Cooke's profile can be raised. Is to go on this show, because it's clownery, it's stupid, but it's intense as well. And it'll show a serious side of me. So I said, look, I'd try it, and I didn't expect to get so far as I did. Like, I kind of when I got to the semi-final.
Yeah, you got knocked out in the semi-final of it, so you came fourth technically, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So
and you're saying there, you thought you could dance, man. I saw you doing the Charleston, man, and you don't have two left feet, but you were well able to move.
But that's it. The Charleston saved me.
You reckon,
that gave me longevity, because the kids loved that so much. The Right Said Fred one.
Yeah, Right Said Fred is right.
Parents vote. They were making their parents vote for me and stuff like that. So that's how I got the public on my side.
Oh,
and were you fit as a fiddle after it?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even fiddles would look at me and go, "God, I feel embarrassed." Fiddles would feel rotund looking at me. I was fitter than actual fiddles. And I was. I was fitter than I was in secondary school in PE. Like, if you hang out with these professional dancers, proper worldwide professional dancers, even hanging out with them, you start losing weight. Even looking at them, even breathing the same way they breathe, you start losing weight. So I was up so early in the morning. It's just such an intense workout. And the further I got, the more hours I had to put in. So it was, but then my diet was on my side. The weight fell at the right time, because at the start, even with the Charleston, it was the first dance, like, the weight's on, and it's hard to be smooth when there's a belly bouncing in front of you. You know what I mean?
I know all about it. I know all about it. Talking to two men that know all about it. Mark's only new to it now. He's only trying to figure it out.
Yeah, the way, Fred, you said there, Fred, that you lost weight during lockdown. Like, I went completely the opposite way. I used to be thin as a rake boy, and now I'm looking down at me gusset going, what in the name of God above is going on here,
If you're driving and you can't see your belt.
Or if you're driving and your belt is about to kill you from the incision it's making on the bottom of your stomach.
Yeah, it's an awful decision you make to go, I might just undo this belt while I'm driving out. That's defeat. Like,
but I told you that. I told you I was doing that for years before ever you got fat.
It's an awful defeatist attitude, man, to go, fuck it, I'm just going to live with this. Like, I spend most of my time now, Fred, and whether it's interesting or not, I spend most of my time on ASOS looking for jeans and trousers that have elastic waist on them, man. That's how fucking...
You need to go on Dancing with the Stars.
I should go on Dancing with the Stars.
You should. Yeah.
Fred, can I ask you, you said before we started that you're based now in Kerry.
I am in Kerry.
I had a wee question for you, and that is, do people know you about the place, and do they leave you alone, or do they be chatting to you, or how do you get on in the local community?
Oh yeah, like they know me quite well, like all five of them in the area. Right. No, they do. Like the house that I'm living with, it's my fiance's auntie's house.
Yeah.
Right. So it's so like my partner's related to loads of people around here. So but definitely, like it's funny because we came here in January last year, 2 months before COVID came. So it's almost like we brought COVID to the area. You know what I mean? It feels like that we arrived in, and it's only now with some of the restrictions are loosened where we're kind of meeting people properly now around the area, and you're getting a sense of the community.
Yeah.
But,
and herself is a comedian, is she?
Yeah, Julie's a comedian as well.
Is there blazing rows over who's funnier?
No, absolutely not. No.
Is there competitiveness there or anything like that?
Maybe a bit. What we do, we still do what comedians do, and we've been going out now like 3.5 years, and we still, we're living together nearly 3 years, and what we still do, this thing that comedians do is that if you've got something, you don't tell the other person. Like if you get a comedy festival, I know I get an email, and I got asked to do like the Kilkenny Comedy Festival, and I didn't tell Julie, but not just in case she didn't get it. And I'd hate to hurt her feelings.
Okay.
And then 4 months later, I had to say, "Oh, I'm doing Kilkenny now next month," and she goes, "Oh yeah, so am I. I got that email." You know what I mean? Listen, that's what happens.
That's lovely though, that you're trying to protect each other like that.
Exactly.
Though,
yeah.
Would there be a situation perhaps if he didn't say it and he just left it till the weekend and said, "I'm actually away this weekend," and she goes, "I'm also away this weekend."
You both end up in Kilkenny.
He's looking after time.
That's what I was just thinking. Do you have any pets in the house?
We have a cat, Molly, and she's
Class.
lovely. I say she's 13 years of age,
right?
And she's wild, but she comes into us because she was the farm kind of cat, and she was with the family who lived here previously. So we keep her, and she's great.
You enjoy a cat now. They're very, how would you put it?
Bastards.
They don't. They don't care
Sexy.
a thing a bit about you, like.
They just
they just sit there with pure disdain and go, "Look,
They've no care."
no,
Yeah.
not a word."
Someone said that to me. An old housemate of mine. He goes, like, if you died, the difference between a cat and a dog is that a cat will eat you,
Yeah.
and a dog will just let you rot.
I don't know what you're laughing at, lads, because that is true. Honest to God.
And
The
like,
dog
they
will go and
don't
get help.
remember.
As my mammy would say, a cat would eat you without salt, boy. Absolutely eat you without salt.
Yeah.
Come here, before we start letting you go now, because we're going to drag the bollocks out of you and we want to let you go, we have to talk about the Tommy Tiernan show, man, because that has blown everything else on RG out of the water, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is it weird to be a part of that? Like, because
It's insane.
it blew the late show and everything out of the water, and people are now going, "I know this is the kind of TV I want to be watching anymore." Like,
Once again, I've very little to do with it. I was just there for the idea and the meetings at the start, and I kind of did the warm up for the audience. But then, like, obviously, we no audience this year. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't think the production company or Tommy did it with the idea of going against the Late Show.
Going after Ryan. That's what he did. He went after Ryan.
no, but that's probably why it works, though, is because they're not trying to do any of that kind of stuff.
No. I think the producer said to Tommy there, one of the meetings, he goes, "I tell you what, just keep doing what you're doing because it's going really well." Do you know what I mean? There was no obviously, like, there's a lot of pressure on Tommy's side, and I think he's more comfortable with it now, but we're 5 series into it. And I was so lucky in lockdown because we were filming that. I thought when I got the text to do the last series, Julie was 8 months pregnant, and I remember trying to put a bike together in the back room, and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to get a job and stuff like that. And then I got a text from the producer going, they're doing new shows. I couldn't believe it considering lockdown that was happening.
Yeah.
And then when they got 6 extra shows, that was in the height of the second wave, you know what I mean, when it was quite intense. So I was very sorry for laughing, but I was very lucky because I had a letter of permission to leave Kerry to go to Dublin, right? And I'd be at the Limerick roundabout, just kind of the Limerick roundabout beyond Tralee, heading into Abbeyfield, heading into Limerick.
Yeah.
And you'd meet the guards, and the first 2 weeks, like, I didn't know them, and they were like the thought, like, to be ambulance flying by me, they thought, like, are you a guard, are you a nurse, where are you traveling? And I'm like, I pull the curtain and introduce the acts.
and did they completely wave you through going, "Oh, go on ahead.
That's an essential worker if ever I seen one.
Oh, sure, there was so little traffic that I just stopped the car and I was chatting to them on the motorway. Do you know what I mean? Like, for 20 minutes, and like the same questions. Does he not know who the acts are? He definitely knows who they are. No way. You know what I mean? This is what happens. And
that was going to be my next question. That he doesn't know the acts, though, does he? Really?
Hasn't a clue. No,
not a clue.
No.
That's unreal.
Absolutely not. No. He doesn't even know who the actual acts are, who they are, or what they are. Like,
and I mean, that's the amazing thing, because he starts every interview then with, "Who are you?" And sure, it can go anywhere from there. Like, you don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lovely freedom in it because even with comedy, comedy is allowed because it's not preempted. You can't, if you preempted some of the jokes that Tommy said, it wouldn't be morally right. But because it's on the spot and it's not organized. Like, for example, I remember the first show, the first act, and I didn't know how the show was going to happen, right? But the first act we ever had on the live show was Christy Dignam. And he walked out. I got a big chair. Christy's so loved. He's lovely. And Christy says the first thing he said before he sat down is, it's always good to come on a comedy show when you're dying of cancer.
Jesus Christ.
And the audience didn't know what to fucking think, right? Just like, whoa, you know what I mean? And it was because RT and then he sat down and it was a bit of a laugh like that. And then Tommy took a beat and he goes, well, will you make it till the end of the interview? And everyone laughed. Do you know what I mean? It's this beautiful release, and it's the genius of Tommy, like, you know what I mean, taking the beat and saying the right thing perfectly. But you couldn't preempt that. You couldn't say to Christy, "Hey, we'll use this line, line of cancer," and then we'll, So because of that, it just opened up so much more than other shows.
And are you going on tour with Tommy when all this is over? Or are you doing your own thing?
Hopefully. I don't see Tommy that much. That's the thing. I see him when I'm working, and I'll probably ring him in the next 2 days. But sometimes I feel because he's so busy and there's not much going on with me at the moment that I've nothing really talking about. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a bad way. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'd say to him because I'm just kind of tired and a lot of the time with being a dad. But I was so lucky because I went on the road with him for 2 years. We gigged every county in Ireland, and it's like. Every day it was like winning the competition. Like you get to hang out with your hero, so it was class. Like,
well, look, I mean, we have a comedy festival here, So Footy, Sligo. So whenever this shit is over, you're more than welcome to come down. And
I'm
join
down
us.
there already.
Have you anything concrete planned for these opening months, as they call them?
I'd say hopefully. I'm going to do a tour in March and April.
Lovely.
So and then I'll do loads of work in progresses before that. I know Brendan mentioned a festival there in Sligo.
Yeah.
So hopefully, hopefully I'll be down to do that. And the name of my show is actually called Your Next Guest Is.
Oh, lovely.
So
And come here, before you go, is there anywhere on socials people to find you, or you don't want to be found at all?
Oh no, on Instagram I'm Fred Cooke.
Right.
Lovely.
And on Twitter I'm Kevin Bridges. So
I'm
doing really well on my Twitter account at the moment.
And Fred, would you be one for putting up an owl dose of content on the Instagram on a regular basis?
Oh yeah. Do you know what I'm actually enjoying at the moment? I have to do more. I'm starting to do these split screen sketches. When it's just two of you in a sketch. I seen old Colgan doing them, and it took a while for me to get my head around them. But I love the idea of singing duets with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's something kind of lonely and something kind of internal about it. So I'm doing a few of them, and I try to do a video once a week, and sometimes I miss the beat.
We'll tell people to keep an eye out for it, Fred. Listen, thanks a million for joining us, and sure, hopefully we'll have you on in a physical form very soon.
Just before you go, how much, Fred, is this costing us?
I tell you what, because it's your sound.
Yeah.
Just give my $5,000 to charity.
Well, I enjoyed that no end.
Like I said, it's great to get people who are like, he's the Tommy Tiernan show, man. That show is walloping now.
Yeah.
Like, it's savage. Now, I know he pulls the curtain at it, but sure, everyone needs a job, Ray.
It's nice of him to do a bit for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
The little man.
He pulled the curtain on our inaugural video episode, Ray.
He did, actually.
Woo, Kendy, a motherfucking wordsmith. Yeah. Okay, go on, Ray. Get into your bits that you always do get into.
I'll do my usual kind of roundup of the week.
Round it off, bye.
First of all, I'd like to big shout out to Rodrigo Freid.
Oh yes, he was having a bit of trouble during the week, wasn't he?
He was having a bit of trouble transferring money to us.
Yes, he was adamant he wanted to give us money.
Yeah.
On patreon.com/Kendy Raybo podcast.
But he couldn't manage it, so he wanted our PayPal accounts, and I said, "Don't be daft."
Yeah, but he actually went on and got. Here's the thing about that, right? If that was me, and I was like, because signing up to someone's Patreon is like a spur of the moment thing. You'd be like, I might give them that. The second I couldn't figure out the payment, I would be like, no, I'm not doing that then.
Yeah.
It was at least I thought about it, like.
So, fair play to him for persevering.
Yeah, and he got it done.
He did, and he rang me. Because I'm with the union in work. In the Department of Government, we're in unions.
I feel like you should have told me that before, Raymond.
And apparently, they do a discount on the DCI card. We talked about this last week. So I can get 3% off my diesel.
You got to get the GCI card back then, man.
I certainly will.
I was listening back to last week's episode, Ray, and the more I think about it, the more daft it is that you used to pay interest, like, to me, to give me stuff.
It's not limited to you.
What?
It's
everyone.
It's you and everything. I mean, it's... to quote young Sean Riley, there'll be times Sean Riley has a piggy bank in his bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Sean Riley would come home from nights out with heaps of change because that's what Cavan men have after nights out. Heaps and heaps. And it's not shit change, it's good change.
Yeah.
Good quality 2s and 1s.
Oh, yeah. Clean change.
Clean. Actually, do you know something? I'm going to tell you a little story.
Go on. Oh, I can't wait. I love now because I can see the giddiness in your eyes. Come on and tell me the story.
He has this piggy bank, right? And I would, for years, and I mean for about 12 years, have dipped into this piggy bank when I'm stuck. So,
would you tell him?
Oh, I'd tell him, but I'd tell him through if he owed rent for the following month.
Oh,
I'd say, Jaxie, only need to give me 150 this month because I took 80 euros out of your piggy bank.
Okay, Ray, 100% that is stealing.
I know it's not stealing.
No, it is.
Sorry, now back up for a second. When I say you owe me 150 because I'd say I took, basically whatever I took, I'd give him more back.
So you were paying him interest as well?
Yeah, I pay him interest. So I'd make it worth his while, even though he didn't know it was worth his while.
Hang on now. Let me get my head around this. You were taking money from
taking money from Sean without him knowing.
Because you needed it at that time.
So I'd take, we'll say, if his rent was 250 euro, right?
Okay.
I might take maybe 50 quid out of his box.
Right.
Okay? So he would then owe 250 for the rent, right? So technically, I should only be taking 200 from him.
Yeah.
And I'd say, look, give me 180.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah.
Oh, but you did this to everybody then.
Yeah, no, it's an ongoing to everybody, yeah.
And so...
It's a problem. It's a disease.
Emetta's going to kill me for asking this question because I'm going to make him think now as well.
Right.
How much money extra over the last 12 years have you spent? Am I giving it to people to do? But I'd still say you shouldn't be doing that, though.
It was just, I felt so guilty for stealing from him. Even though he'd know I stole from him after I told him. But, it was an ongoing arrangement.
Do you still do that?
This is where the story comes in.
Oh, so you've learned nothing in 10 years, like?
No.
It's unbelievable. You live that lifestyle. You're a little bit like a drug addict or something. And what I mean is that, like, you figured out this way of living your life to your most benefit, but you're fucking on the edge, like, am I stealing money from people? What am I doing? Or am I spending too much money on myself? But you've learned to live on that edge.
I have. I love it.
You love it, don't you?
I love when things get real tight and I have to try and work real hard to try and figure it out.
Oh my God, man. You're a junkie. You're an economic junkie.
I'm a poverty junkie.
A poverty junkie, man. You love that. Like, you'd be happy if you would sleep on the street one night, like, but the next day you got it sorted. That's the kind of shit you'd be at.
Well, I try and avoid sleeping on the street that night.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I'm right, really, I'm going to sleep on the street.
No.
Oh, I just avoid this.
Just avoid. I'm in the Clarion.
Oh, you're such a maniac. Go on, anyway, tell me your fucking story.
There was a time, and I won't say what time this was,
for
fear anyone might feel like they were involved. There was a time where I was stuck for a few pound of a week. Now, there was some big bills coming in this week.
Okay.
Big bills.
Yeah.
I'm talking 400 or 500 euro.
A bill?
And, what?
A bill?
There was bills, a collection of them. And they were all coming at me, and I hadn't the money to pay them.
Okay.
And I was going, what am I going to do? I can't be asking people for money.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know? So I was thinking, it was a time when Sean O'Reilly was not in the house. And I knew he'd been away for a while. So I tipped into his bedroom and I took his piggy bank and I said, this whole piggy bank's going to get cashed in.
Ray!
The man had 580 euros in coinage.
Oh my God. But Ray, I will let you finish the story. Of course I will.
Yeah.
You fucking robbed.
No, I rang him. But let me get to this. Okay, let me get through
sorry,
it. Okay.
Because I want to fucking jump down your throat now.
So it's 580 euros in coins, right? And I spent the best part of a day counting it all out, right? 450, we'd say, in normal Irish money.
Okay.
Euros, right?
Yes, euros.
And then there was about £100 in sterling.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I needed all of it.
And more, probably.
Yeah. So I bagged up all the normal euros and I brought them down to my account and I put it in. Right?
Fuck me.
Lodged it away. And then I took all the sterling and I said, how am I going to get the sterling? I need this by tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. Right? So I said to myself, I know what I have to do. I have to go to Northern Ireland. Because the bank wouldn't change it for me.
Oh.
So I got up early the following morning with my bags of sterling and I head off the road up to Belcoo.
Ray, this is like a heist.
I know, but I really enjoyed it.
So you robbed a Cavan man and brought his money cross border. Think about that, man. This is like Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo the fucking McAndrew.
But the problem was, I went up to Belcoo, right? Belcoo was about, 45 minutes to an hour drive away?
Yeah.
Right? And I tore off
about
early in the
55
morning.
on a guilty conscience, but yeah, you you did it in 45 because you fucking didn't have any.
So I got up to Belcoo and I went into the local Spar or the Super Value, whatever they have in Belcoo. Belcoo, by the way, is just on the border besides Black Lion.
That's right.
Which is kind of the closest border town to me.
Yes.
Right, where they take the sterling.
Yeah.
And
the
I
way
went
to
into,
Enniskillen.
yeah, and I went into the lady and I said, I have all this sterling in coins. It was good quality sterling, like. All £1 coins and £2 coins and 50p.
She said, "Phew, that's good sterling."
And she looked at me, and it was 8:15 in the morning. She's no more wanted to cash this in for me. And I says, "Can you cash this in for me?" And she said, "You're going to have to buy something."
Oh, so you were already down €2.
So I was already I ended up
£2.
doing a couple of bits. I got a few messages for the house, the milk, the chocolate, all that.
Oh
sort
my
of stuff.
God, you're taunting him now, Ray. You're taunting Sean O'Reilly. You're saying I bought fucking milk. He said you had a couple of bills. You said, well, I got bread and fags as well. Like,
no, but this is what happened then. So I got all my few bits and I got me 85 sterling back after the shopping, right?
I was 100 and something. She said you had to buy one thing. She said you had to buy something. You said,
but I was in.
Right,
I was in the shop. I might as well do the shopping.
You said, okay, well, give me 80 kg of coal and give me, give me fucking 400 Benson as well.
So I got me shopping and I got me 85 sterling and I bet it back down to Sligo and I threw the money into the account.
Sean O'Reilly finds out.
No, I told him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does he ever have a choice in this?
What?
You just said you told him. Does he ever have a choice?
No, he didn't have a choice. I rang him and I said, Sean, I have some good news and I have some bad news. He said, okay. I said, Sean, the good news is that I had good news, bad news and good news for him. I had all them types of news.
Okay.
I said, the good news is, I said, I counted out all the money in your jar and you have nearly 600 euros worth of stuff. And this was at a time where Sean O'Reilly, he was delighted.
Yeah.
I can't get over the fact there was that much in it.
Yeah.
And he said, sorry, Jesus, it must take it. Why were you counting it out?
Yeah, fair play to you for counting it out, Ray.
Yeah. So then I said, the bad news is I've taken it. I've taken it for my own purposes. I said, but the good news is you don't owe any rent on your house for the next 2 months.
Oh my God, but still you can't do that. Ray, you know sometimes like serial killers will kill someone and then they'll ring the cops and say, I'm after killing her, she down below, underneath the bridge. You did that to Sean. How you going, Sean? Just let you know while you're gone, I robbed you dry. And did he pay rent for the next 2 months? No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Because
see, that's the one thing I will say. I'll joke and I'll jest.
Yeah.
But you always stood to what
was
happening.
I paid the rent for the 2 months.
That's where you live on the edge.
Yeah.
Ray, there's so many angles that you come at me with, like the sleep talking one. I really like that and stuff. But I love.
Oh, have sleep talking.
Oh, have you?
I have.
Oh, you want to play it for us then, lovely?
Jeez, I think I will.
Well, pull it out there and we'll play the bit of feckin' sleep talking, Ray.
Hang on a second now and have a wee look here now.
Hey, right, turn on the yoke as well. Go on. I fucking love these, by the way. You're giving me everything I wanted in the podcast. Ray stories about money, and now you're giving me the sleep talking.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. They're not very clear this week.
Okay, well, sure, look, let me make something of them then, Ray.
Yes, well, there's only 3 little clips. Real quick moment.
Go on.
It's a regular that's been happening this last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Since we started recording. No, actually not since, for months, actually. It's been happening. It's where I would inquire with Laura if she's okay.
Yeah.
She would confirm she's okay. Ask me if I was okay. Right, turn it up there good and loud.
Laura. Are you?
So
That's so nice of her. It's so nice of her to be like, yeah, I'm okay. Like
yeah, but she was asleep.
What?
Yes. So I wake her up with the question.
No, sorry. I thought you were saying she was sleep talking as well.
No.
I thought this shit turned into sleep talking Inception where you
duets.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's so nice of her to be like, I better just, talk to him about it because, I'll play along kind of thing.
No. She's asleep and I go, Laura.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and she goes, yeah. And I go, are you okay? And she goes, yeah. You okay? And I go, yeah.
Yeah, but she was so nice there. She was like,
I'm still
man,
asleep.
you okay? So you're reacting in your sleep. See, we're drilling down, Raymond. We're drilling down into what happens when people are sleep talking.
I'm having conversations.
You can chat to them.
Yeah.
So if you're sleep talking in here at me now and you say, Kendy, you okay? Yeah. I could say to you, Ray, I'm not great, man, because the track's splitting the digger. And you might go,
the track is splitting
I'm fucking hate with that.
Of all the things that was wrong with you.
Well, I'm saying I could turn it into a direction, like.
Oh,
I could go the agricultural direction.
Yeah.
I could be anything I want to be in that conversation. I could be like,
could be blue,
not bad, Ray. I had 3
do.
women that I had to have sex with yesterday. I'm a porn star, and you'd be like, tough life. It
Tough
could
life,
happen,
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Anyway, give me another one.
All right, another one. This is I'm only playing this one because it was a bit odd.
Go on.
We talk here about magical people. So can you hear it?
Oh my God.
Never,
Ray.
Never in my life have I ever uttered the words magical people.
I know, but what were you watching on TV or something? That's what I'm saying. You were like, whoa.
Whoa, magical
Just
people.
Magical people. How are you watching on the television?
I was watching Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, that's what it is then.
Yeah.
You were like, wow, they're wizards with their hands.
Yeah, they are.
Even though they're just having sex most of the time. But you
Yeah.
were like, whoa, that's what they can do with those hands.
Right, last one.
Last
one. And this is to do with weight.
That's it. We'd be making out and Jesus, we didn't think that.
What did you say in the middle?
I think I said something like, we let on that you
Yeah.
lost the weight.
Yeah. So you were pretending.
Yeah,
You were
that-
like, look, say not we.
Say nothing. We let on that you lost the weight.
Operation Transformation.
Possibly.
That's exactly what you. Were you watching Operation? I think it's always based on what you're watching on television. The
No,
end.
it wasn't Operation Transformation. But it was
'Cause-
just an odd one to come out with. But the problem I have is the poor Laura's lying there all night listening to me rabbiting on about rubbish.
I know, but that's the mark of a fine woman, right? Is that she'll sit there and go, but like that's what I said. Straight
dick with
away,
me.
she said to you, yeah, Ray, I'm okay. She played with it. She
Yeah,
was
but
like, this fella's obviously fucking
The
mental.
worst thing
So-
is, though, she now knows the app is recording. So
Okay.
she wakes up in the morning. She woke up this morning all giddy going, we got some good stuff, man.
Or maybe she knows the app is recording, so she can't be what she wants to be.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas when
Yeah.
you say, are you okay? She wants to go, if you don't shut up, right? I'll box the joy out and fuck out the window. So she has to be nice, Laura.
Yeah, that's actually-
Laura, I see right through that. I see right through that.
Right. Moving swiftly on to the last few items of this week's podcast.
Hit me.
Right. This will be quick now, so as well.
Go on, wallop them out, Raymond.
First of all, we'd like to wish happy birthday section.
Yes, the happy birthday.
I have one. You have some. I
Yes.
have one. The big one I have
Go on.
is Michael McConaughey.
Michael McConaughey.
He is my brother-in-law,
That's right.
and he will be 30 on Thursday of this week.
30-year-old, Ray.
30 years old, and he's delighted with life. He's everything. He's got the beautiful wife. He's got the car, the dog. He's got
whole lot.
the job. He's got the whole lot.
If I was his uncle right now, I'd be saying to him, sure, that's it, gone now. 30,
Yeah,
sure, you're on the
30.
way out. Oh,
What?
the Joey Tribbiani memes.
Memes.
I mean, we can't even say anything about them. Like, there's no point in having a discussion.
Yeah.
They were the best thing that's ever happened to me. I saw it. I'll just leave it at this one, and then we go on with the happy birthday, Michael. Anyway, we'll go on with
Sorry, Michael. Now we were wishing you a very sincere happy 30th birthday. However, Mark has something he wants to
I
talk
have
about.
something very important.
Yeah.
The one thing that summed it all up was this guy who was saying, just to let all my American friends know, he looks like all of our dads.
Yeah.
And that was just the best way of describing what was going on. And long may they continue. I will never get sick of those memes. Like,
Yeah.
a friend of mine back home, well, not really a friend, he's from Castlereagh, like, I don't know him mad well. He put up...
Hope it doesn't listen.
No, but I don't want him just to go, I'm not a fucking friend of Kendy's.
Right,
You know, that's
okay.
he put up Joey Tribbiani, Matt LeBlanc like that.
Yeah.
And the tagline was, you can't mark space, lads. And it was just, Darrow Breen shared it and everything.
Yeah.
It was just, they were the best thing that ever happened. They're so good. Anyway, Michael's
30.
Happy
But
30th.
Michael, during the week, sent me a link to a story about an old age pensioner who was in court, right?
Okay.
This lad, did you hear him anything about this, did you?
I never heard a story about an old age pensioner in court. No,
Right.
Raymond.
This old age pensioner in court, he was from Kilkenny.
Right.
And he took a liking to an RTE presenter of some sort.
A Bjork.
Possibly on a radio. Yes, a Bjork.
All right, okay.
And I think it was on the radio, and he wanted his music played.
He plays music.
He plays a bit of music. He must have recorded it.
Right.
And he went down a very abusive road to actually get the music played. So he sent her loads of correspondence and some obscene images of himself.
Oh, he got the old Mickey Pics out.
He sent her Mickey pics to say you should play my tunes.
No better way to get a Christmas #1. Seriously.
Yeah.
Send all the Today FM people Mickey Pics.
Yeah.
If you want Kendy Raybo to play tunes, send us on the Mickey Pics now. If you have a song out now,
Imagine
listen.
us getting an email from a 76-year-old in a few days now and just a picture of his shriveled up penis.
But I mean, look, Ray, give everyone a chance.
Here we go. Right, we're now going to play a song from Gerald. Gerald is Gerald Fairplay to me 76. He recorded this.
Yeah, we can't show you his album cover.
No.
But,
But yeah, apparently he was in the court and the judge gave him 2 years.
he didn't give him long enough, man.
But everybody was shocked. Go, Jesus Christ, didn't think he get 2 years for sending a Mickey pic?
You get 2 years sending a Mickey Pic.
Yeah. To someone who doesn't want the Mickey pic.
I know, that'd be fucking super awkward. We better finish this up really quick now.
Anyway, Michael, there is your story talked about, says I.
I have a couple of people to text.
Have you any happy birthdays?
We want to say a massive happy birthday to one of our avid listeners.
Neve?
What?
No.
Not Neve this time. Not yet, man. She said she'd let us know.
I think it's this week, actually.
Oh, is it this week? Happy birthday. Are we still going on about the Orr's birthdays?
Shut up about it now.
Jesus Christ almighty. We want to say a big happy birthday to Aileen McGovern.
Oh, yeah.
Who is a regular listener and a regular contributor, in fairness. The type of people we love on this podcast are the ones that send us messages on Instagram, letting us know what they thought of the one the week before and all that kind of crack, and letting us know other stuff. Aileen's brilliant at that. Yeah. So Aileen, a big old sexy happy birthday to you.
It's a bit late now, but we should have done it last week.
But we learned. We live and learn, man. Facebook tells us when birthdays are.
We also have to do a shout out.
Go on.
We're really in the wrap up now.
Yeah, we're wrapping this up now.
There could be a funny story yet. You never know. Don't switch off just yet.
There won't be. Go on anyway. Right. No, James, no, there won't be.
We have to advertise another podcast on this one. Yeah, I know it's rare we
talk about shooting yourself in the Mickey. Yeah. What are we doing here?
In the Lamplight podcast, friends of the podcast. Now, they weren't friends before because they robbed some of our stuff.
Yeah, but we sorted all that out. That got sorted in court rate. Forget about that. Okay. Water under the Mickey. Come on.
This week, their episode involves Johnny Gallagher and the Boxy Band.
Yes, it does. Sean's Riley walloping the drums.
Yeah, so Sean's Riley features in this episode, and we could not give it a bit of recognition and say, if you have a few spare hours and you want to listen to something other than us, go for the In the Lamplight podcast this week, Johnny Gallagher, and all the episodes is put out.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the great thing about their podcast is the quality control is huge, because we're
the content is so good.
Like, we're videoing this right now, but they Rory is actually
a videographer.
He does real videos.
Real videos.
Yeah, so fair play to Rory, Luke, and to Kieran Quinn as well. And watch the Johnny Gallagher and the Boxy Band.
Just on the Sean O'Reilly subject.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a coconut latte?
No, but a woman came in to Milligram, lovely coffee shop downtown today.
It's no gallery.
No, it's no gallery, but it's beside my office. So, right? I'm not giving out about no one, and everyone can be whoever they want. But she had a posh Dublin accent, and I was immediately annoyed at her, right? So, but be whatever you want in this world. Yeah. But she asked, can I have an oat milk flat white? And I just thought, you just ask for a coffee and stop being a flute.
Oh, it's gone bad.
Excuse me, can I have an oat milk black? Oh, what's the box right to the jaw?
Myself and Sean O'Reilly went to collect an oven the last day.
Of course
we did.
Every week, like.
Because Louise, I'll give her a shout out. Louise is moving out of the house. Right. She's our housemate. She's no longer our housemate now in a day or two's time.
The best of luck, Louise.
Yeah, she's bought a new house in one of the palatial housing estates in Sligo, one of the more upper market spots.
Oh yeah, I mean the Oars nowadays are swinging big Mickey.
Yeah, but sure, one of them works in the bank. So what do you expect?
Oh sure, the whole lot, Dave. This town's
that girl can get an unlimited mortgage.
Yeah, not for me though. I must get on to her actually.
Yeah,
Emma, how you love eat?
But anyway, young Louise is moving out, and when she moved into her new house, she had an old oven. Right. Oven cooker jobby. Yeah. But there's like retro vintage oven cooker stuff.
Right.
It's built by the British, and I'll tell you. It was whoever owned the house before Louise was an elderly lady, and she never cooked anything, only a boiled egg. Oh. So it's perfect. It's like the day it was bought in 1982.
Like a nun's car.
Yeah. It's actually like a nun's car. Yeah. It's like, when you look at the grill in an oven and you can still see it's silver.
Oh, no way.
It's still silver.
I haven't seen a silver grill like ever. Like, I don't think. Seriously. Like.
So myself and Sean's Riley went up to collect it, and we did some hard man work on a lunch break,
Did you pull the oven out of your own house?
We're not yet, but it's happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm watching YouTube videos at the minute how not to electrocute myself. But what happened was, basically, me and Sean says, look, we're after collecting an oven now, we're after doing a big load of work, let's go get a coffee. Mm-hmm. Went up to Costa. Yeah. Right, up in the retail park.
Of all the places that we frequent, like you, it's Costa.
That's where he goes. Right. We went into Costa, and he says, can I get a coconut latte? Oh, I've never heard such a thing.
I know, but especially if I'm a gentleman from Cavan. Like, I mean, come on now.
Notions?
Sean, yeah, that is too many notions. Yeah. And I know I'm not getting exuberant for the fact that I should, but that is stupid, Sean. Like, don't be getting a coconut latte. Like, will you get a mug of scald?
Yeah, but the ironic thing was then the book behind the counter, he just turned around and he said, I'm sorry, we can't do that.
Oh, brilliant. I'm delighted because Sean went too woke.
But do you want to know why?
Go on.
Coffee machine was broken.
In the coffee shop.
Costa Coffee. He says, I can do you a nice cup of tea.
Stop. The Bible said tea all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should be delighted with tea. Yeah. Sean used to love tea. Like, Ray, there we go. First video episode done anyway.
I think we did okay. It was better than last week.
We'll soon find out. It was better than last week for sure.
In fairness.
Don't forget, if you want to follow us, it's patreon.com/Kendy Podcast. I do want to mention just before we go, Raymond, completely just off the top of my head, the cocktailclub.ie if you want to get some of the wonderful cocktails that we have been drinking for the last 3 weeks.
They're second very nice photos, I won't lie.
Anyway, look, Ray, let's wrap it up. Ray,
fair play to me.
You say it first. I always say it first.
What do you mean?
I always say fair play to me first.
I didn't realise there was an
Let's
order of
switch
merit.
it. Do it. There is an order of merit, but do it and let's see how it works.
So what do I do? Fair
There'll be
play
no
to
one signed up to Patreon. Go on, do it. You say fair play to me first.
Fair play to me.
And fair play to me.
Oh no, it's wrong.
Oh, it's all
It's
over
wrong.
the place.
Okay.
Ray,
Anyway.
fair play to me.
And fair play to me.
Good luck.
Oh yeah. Good luck.
The Kendy and Raybo Podcast, sponsored by Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre and Wonderful Food Items, and the Blind Tiger's marvellous alcoholic fruit drinks.